I'm Nick Hamman, and this is another episode of Hammy Eats delivered by Mr. D. And here we are on the richest square mile in Africa, Sandton, to eat a proudly Mzansi street food that was born in the 1980s in the townships of Gauteng, which is almost approaching its 50th birthday. I'm talking about the Kota, and many people say they make it better than anywhere else in South Africa and by extension the world. Let's go see if that claim is true. What's happening?
How's it, Nick?
My brother?
Good to see you. Good to see you. Great to see you.
Good to meet you in person.
Yep.
I've heard a lot of good things about Township.
Only good things come out of here, man.
Best Kota in town, you reckon?
Yeah, I've heard that. I think there's room for everyone, but yeah, this is where it bangs.
Let's do it.
Come on through.
So here we are, inside the place where the magic happens.
Magic happens over here.
I want to hear the whole story.
2017, I get a job after varsity. I'm working around Sandton, and a friend of mine, his mom had a Kota business in Protea North. So their surname is Silai. Right, so Mama Sly had a Kota business, and eventually she was too tired to operate it. And I felt, the guys weren't working, weren't finding jobs. So I was like, let me invest in this and let's see what we can do. So we came up with the name Two Sly. In the township, really, when Two Sly basically means a sandwich. The whole idea really was to sort of elevate the Kota. We've always felt like it was stuck. So that's why we've got the fish, the chicken, the beef, the porks, etc., etc. Over the years, man, we've seen the love build. We've seen people try appreciate the product, who understood what we were doing, and because of that, man, we're still alive. We're still here. In fact, we should be opening in Bryanston very soon, because the demand is there and the people are crying for it. So it's really for them, but really it's also for the Kota. We think it deserves, man. It deserves. I think ever since we started, the market has exploded.
Because I think a lot of people also forget you're the young South African. You're coming from Soweto, very famous part of the country. Everyone knows about it. Got a lot of spirit, a lot of hustle. Also a tough place to grow up in many ways because opportunities are few and far between.
Yeah.
We're very privileged that this show reaches a lot of people. It's an opportunity to maybe speak on behalf of some of those people. I'm sure there are lots of people in this country. Talent's not the problem.
Yeah.
Work ethic's not the problem. They have talent. They're willing to work hard. They're smart people. It's just nothing out there.
There's no opportunity, man. It's really tough. You need to really graft, use every element that you can, whether it's social media, whether it's collaborations, whether it's trying the government, trying private sector, but it's not sitting at home and hoping, things would happen. We've had real issues on pricing. I mean, because the Kota was always that township, smaller, low LSM product, trying to bring it up here made a lot of noise in people's bodies. I've grown up having the Kota, and I've always felt that it's underpriced. There's no ways all of these meats and products for about a 20 rand, and you're thinking, how much is it costing you? How much is this, that? So that education behind food pricing, food costing, and how to build a sustainable business maybe is what's lacking.
Maybe that's part of what you're talking about, the psychology of the Kota.
Yeah.
And difficult to say, well, how can we get away with selling it at a fair market price here when people know they can get it elsewhere?
Yeah.
That person and the individual might feel that they're being ripped off.
Yeah.
But in reality, I think what you're saying back is no, we're trying to sort of bring everybody up, and we're trying to create a more robust economy, and we're trying to do this by building a sustainable business that can actually grow and can actually employ more people and can franchise out and can then take this thing that we know and love that has intergenerational value for us called the Kota and put it onto a national stage and make it into the thing it deserves to be. It's also for me just such a special thing because different parts of the country have their version of a Kota, and here in Gauteng that's what it is to so many millions of South Africans. So I'm sure even for yourself a lot of that passion just kind of comes in that. It's links to your own memory and childhood. You grow up very fond of this thing we call the Kota, right?
Yeah, it's got big experiences. Coming home from primary school, we'd drag ourselves to the Kota place. We'd all be full there from school and just, chill out and order. So it's really in my heart. And it's really beautiful sometimes when I see, especially in this place where you have a lot of foreign nationals coming through. You've got guys from Brazil, Russia, etc., and they often come back for the product, and like, I need it before I leave. There was a day when one guy came here, he was so frustrated because he's missing his flight, but he was like, I need to take this. That's where we get this inspiration to keep going, because we see, yes, there may be a certain part of the market that's sort of resistant to it, but a lot of it is very appreciative of it.
Which one do you want to explain first?
This is usually the best seller. It resonates to what a Kota really is with the processed produce. We've got top quality Russians, Viennas, bacon and ham on a bed of beautifully toasted bread with our fries and our mixture of sauces.
Kind of an OG Kota, but I mean, there is some elevation here. You're not always going to get that coleslaw.
No, you won't. So we've added the coleslaw. It also has big bites of apple in there. It really works well with the pork, and it's a real balancing factor.
And what about this guy?
Over here, we've got an exciting one. We created this a few years back, but I still feel like it's one of the most tastiest produce. It's the seafood Kota. This is called the Nemo. So you have found the Nemo.
I found Nemo.
You found Nemo.
I'm with you, brother. Okay, what did I find?
Your bread, your fries, and our sauces. It's then cut through with the lettuce, avocado, with a mixture of chorizo, mushroom, and calamari, topped with cheese and egg, and prawn tempura at the top.
No kidding. As they'll say, a Kota that went to private school.
Yeah, I've heard that a few times, but I just find it as a delicious sandwich.
I present you with the Kota, probably the most famous street food to ever come out of South Africa. Depending on what version of history you take, this bad boy is at least about 45 years old, coming out of the 80s in South African townships. You might know it as a Kota, you might know it as a Spatlo, but essentially what this is a quarter loaf of bread, hollowed out with classics inside. It's grown into a much wider variety of things with festivals all over South Africa. And for me, what's more accurate is the Kota is, in essence, what it means to come from a South African township. It's something that, with limited resources, people have made the most of. So you've taken simple ingredients and you've concocted something that is beautiful, delicious, and iconic. I think it's an important part of our food history, which is a story that's forever being written. So as much as the Kota was what it was in the 80s, and that always needs to be respected and no one should take that away from it, it will evolve, and it should with time, and it should turn into beautiful things like this. Smash it down, catch it in the packet, remove all sense of politeness, and go in for a bite. Sorry, wasn't expecting it to be that good. I knew it was going to be good, but damn it, that is an amazing Kota. Oh my gosh. I need you to look at that. That is the perfect balance of power and processed. Cheese is processed, that polony is processed, that Russian is processed, but that coleslaw is fresh and delicious. So South Africa famously has all these amazing street foods from different parts of our country. I would say Gauteng has every right to lay claim to the Kota, whether Johannesburg or Pretoria. But then, of course, you'd go to Cape Town for a Gatsby, you'd go to Durban for a bunny chow. But far away from the coast here, inland, they've taken seafood and they've put it inside this bad boy, which I'm now going to sample for you. You're kidding me, man. This is, in my opinion, exactly the direction Kotas should be going in. I agree. Sometimes people go too over the top and they take away the essence of what this thing actually is, and it loses all sense of Kota power. But this is still a Kota in every traditional sense of the word. It's just one that they've given a bit more time and attention to, which is, I think, why this place has the great reputation that it does, and why it's got the Hammy stamp of approval, and why I would order one for yourself on Mr. D right now. That's it for another episode of Hammy Eats. There's a good chance you're watching on your phone right now. If so, close this, jump straight onto Mr. D and order toestelai for yourself. This is the story of how we take our South African foods and put them on a global stage. Here in the richest square mile in Africa, toestelai and Kota to the world. We'll see you in the next episode. Like, subscribe, but from Hammy Eats, it's goodbye.